In this video, we are going to learn how to create a toggle switch button that switches from the left hand side to the right hand side. Also, you can see the button is a 3D like button which makes it looks professional. So each time I check the button, it transitions smoothly from the left hand side to the right hand side. As you can see, the color changes smoothly. And the most beautiful part about this toggle switch button is that it is done using only HTML and CSS. No JavaScript required whatsoever. Let's get started and see how you can get it done using HTML and CSS. So, in order to create the toggle switch button, I'm going to create a new file called index.html. Press enter. After that, I'm still going to create a new file called style.css. Press enter on your keyboard. After that, I'm going to come to this HTML file that I've just created. Then I'm going to press the shift and the exclamation mark in order to generate the HTML5 boilerplate. So I have it already. So I'm going to collapse this section so that I can have more space to work with. Now, as you can see. So after that, I'm going to rename the document as toggle switch button. After that, I'm going to link the style sheet to the HTML by writing link rel equal to style sheet href equal to style.css. After that, so I'm going to give it a div class of container. So after that, I'm going to give it an input type of checkbox. Then I'm going to give it an ID of check. After that, I'm going to come to the section and give it a label. Then the label for check. Then a class of button. Then we are done with our HTML structure. So in order to view the code so far, then we are going to open it with live server. See, this is the checkbox we have just created. Now let's continue by styling it. Let's go to the CSS. So basically, I'm going to reset the default padding and the margin. Using the asterisk, I'm going to select the whole page. Then I'm going to write margin 0. Then the padding also will be 0. So after that, I'm going to select the container class. Then I'm going to make sure I center this checkbox. That is, I want to place it at the center, both horizontally and vertically. So in order to do that, so I'm going to write display flex align items center, justify content center. So now in order to make it work, I'm going to apply the width of 100% and the height of 100 viewports high. As you can see, the checkbox has been aligned to the center. I'm going to give it the background color of gray. So the background will be gray. So we have the gray background color while the checkbox is at the center of the whole page. Now let's move on to style our button. Now writing the button class dot button So now the button, we wanted to give it the width of 250 px and the height of 90 px. So the background also will be grey, color as the background of this one. So then we are going to give it the box shadow of 3px. Then we are going to give it the blur of 15px and the color of white smoke. As you can see, so we have this 3D shape like. So after that, we are going to give it the negative box shadow as well. So but before then, you have to make sure you add comma here. So now let's continue. So you are going to write minus 3px 15 pixel for the blur, and the background will be black. As you can see, so we have this 3D shape. So after that, we are going to make sure we round the corner of this toggle switch button. In order to make the corner rounded, so we are going to use the border radius of 100px. As you can see, it has turned into a rounded border. So now we are done with this particular button. Now let's move on. We wanted to add a rounded circle inside this button. Now let's do that. So we are going to target the button again, dot button before. So we are going to select it, then we are going to write position absolute. So we are going to use the empty content using the single quotes. Then we are going to write the width of 80px and the height of 80px, and the background will be light gray. The background will be light gray, as you can see. So we have this shape already. So next, we wanted to make this shape a rounded shape, as well as place it at the center of the button. So the border radius of 100px. As you can see, it has turned into a rounded shape. Next, we are going to make sure that we place it at the center using the margin of 5px. Can you see the button has been aligned to the center? So now we wanted to give both the button and the button before the transition effect. So we are going to give it a transition effect so that when we switch the button will be able to move smoothly from the left hand side to the right hand side. So to do that, we are going to add transition. Let's add transition is in out 0.7 seconds. So the button will be able to transition smoothly. Now let's copy this transition and paste it here as well, because we also need it here. Ctrl V in order to paste it. So after we are done, now let's move on to the next section. So we wanted to change the background color of this button when this input is checked. So now let's change the background color. So in order to do that, So I'm going to write input when it is checked plus the button class So I wanted the background color, the background to be blue, so that is when it is checked the background will be blue. Now let's see. Can you see when the input is checked, the background transitions smoothly from this gray color to blue color? Can you see? So now after that, we are going to hide this checkbox. So in order to hide the checkbox, you are going to target the input as opacity 0, so that this input can be hidden. So as you can see, the input is no longer there. Each time we check this button, the color changes, that is, it transitions smoothly from gray color to blue color. So now we wanted to make sure that this switch button move from the left hand side to the right hand side. How can we do that? So now in order to do that, we are going to target the input again, the input when it is checked plus the button before, so that it can transition smoothly from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we are going to target the input again, input when checked plus the button before. So now we are going to make sure we translate 160px. So now let's click on it. Can you see how the button transitions smoothly from the left hand side to the right hand side? This is the button view on the full page. Can you see how it is transitioned smoothly from the left hand side to the right hand side with this particular 3D shape? If you really enjoyed this video, please do me a favor by subscribing to my channel. Also turn on the post notification bell so that each time I upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be updated. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.